Okay, so in this video, we're going to be discussing Fermín López's future and what's currently going on with his situation in Chelsea. We're also going to get into the conversation of Barcelona's schedule for the Champions League because I have a few things to say about that. And then lastly, I'm going to give my lineup, my predicted lineup for the match against Rayo Vallecano that's going to be happening in about 24 to 48 hours, 24 hours. So there's a lot to discuss for today's video, a lot. And the first thing that I want to say is I can't believe Chelsea came to Barcelona and they said, we want Fermín López, we believe that he's a good player. And they came to Barcelona and they offered a 40 million euro bid, a 40 million euro bid. That type of price tag, that type of fee is so pathetic. I understand why Barcelona were like, there was a report that stated that Barcelona did not even flinch off of the offer that Chelsea gave. Barcelona was like, what? You said 40 million? Like, bro, we're asking for at the very minimum 90 million euros, but Chelsea had the audacity to just give 40 million and be like, hey, can you accept this offer? Like, no, bro. Like, you know what this is? This is kind of like let's just say, for example, you know how to fight and you know how to like beat people up. Can you imagine like a 13-year-old kid just comes up to you and he just punches you, but like he's like super slow and stuff? You're just like, get out of here, man. Like, what are you talking about? Like, get out of here. Like, what are you doing? This is pathetic. Go run away. If you're gonna come, at least come like with a plan and come with some sort of conviction, because that was pathetic. So this whole thing, the Chelsea bid saying we'll give you 40 million euros, pathetic, bro. Like John Laporte was like, bro, I spend more money on food. You know what I'm saying? Like that bill that he has for food, that's higher than the 40 million euros that Chelsea has to offer. So it's pathetic, right? And you know, Hansi Flick, I know I keep looking at over here just because I have like all my notes here because apparently like I ran out of paper, but you know, I know I'm supposed to be looking at the camera, but I have to look over here. So Hansi Flick said a few things and he wanted to speak about Fermín López because the whole media was asking him like, oh yeah, like what's going on, bro? Like, is Fermín López going to leave? Is Fermín López going to be staying? Like what's going on? And so Hansi Flick stated this, and I quote, he's here for now. I've spoken to him and I think that he'll stay. I'll be very happy when the transfer window closes. I told him my opinion, but I'm keeping it to myself. There are people who know more about what's going on. It's a business, but I'm focused on my team. He's shown many times how important he is to us. He can help us a lot. At the beginning of the week, he was different than now. I see him much more focused and I think that he's in a good position. So notice how Hansi Flick was saying that, you know, it's a business and he understands that. He understands that, you know, as much as he likes these players, as much as, God damn it, bro, Real Madrid just scored and tied it 1-1. Gulera again. So, you know, as much as he likes his players and stuff like that, like he understands that there's also the other side of football, which is business. And sometimes players do get attracted with the amount of money they could be earning in their next club. Sometimes that club does need the funds to maybe reinvest it to bring in a new player. Hansi Flick understands that, but Hansi Flick made it clear and he stated that, you know, I want Fermín López here. I don't want him to go anywhere. This is my player. And I think that that's true. Like, yeah, bro, like when we speak about a profile, like what is the ideal profile for a Hansi Flick player? That is Fermín López. Fermín López gives you all that. He knows how to attack the open spaces. He knows how to score goals, provide assists. He's very intense in terms of like the attitude and like what he gives out. He's basically like Rafinha, but for the central midfield. So I don't want Fermín López to be going anywhere. And if you guys are like also asking, bro, like Real Madrid scored again, it's 2-1. So, bro, like, you know, like the reason why Barcelona are even asking for like 90 million euros and why they're having that type of audacity to ask for such a high fee is because the agent of Fermín López, he said this, right? He's like, oh yeah, like you guys, like Brighton paid 116 million euros for Moises Caicedo, right? So the agent was like, bro, like you guys are gonna be paying 116 million euros for Moises Caicedo, and you guys don't even want to give 90 million euros for Fermín López when clearly Fermín López is a better midfielder compared to Caicedo. So you know, they were stating that the response was that the market is highly inflated among the Premier League clubs, and so there should be no problem on these Premier League clubs like Chelsea, especially because they spend like €1 billion every 2 years on players, and there should be no problem on that. They should give 90 million euros minimum for a player like Fermín. So that is the reason why Barcelona are not even going to budge. They're going to be like, bro, like you guys are spending a ridiculous amount of money like every season on players like with inflated prices. So like give us what we want. Like what makes Barcelona so different? So that's the reason why, right? Let's talk about the next conversation. And I do want to speak about the schedule for the Champions League. And first things first, I like who I am with right now, right? I'm not talking about personally. I mean, like I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like with Barcelona and how they have Newcastle, PSG, Chelsea, and stuff like that. Like I like these teams. It's way better. I like it. I think that Barcelona can deal with it very well. We can win a lot of games. And but the thing is I don't like the schedule. I don't like how they placed, for example, we have a match against Chelsea, right, on the November 25th on a Tuesday. And do you guys realize that 2 days before that, 2 days before that match against Chelsea, which is going to be away, we have to play against Athletic Club? So what type of schedule is this? We have a game on November 23rd on Sunday against Athletic Club. Obviously, that's going to be very important. We're going to have to use our most important players. And then you're going to tell me on Tuesday later that week, 2 days later, not even 48 hours later, we're going to have to face Chelsea away from home and go to England? That's a setup. That is a freaking setup. Another setup is the fact that freaking Barcelona, right? They're going to be playing away for their first Champions League game against Newcastle. And you know who's not going to be there? Hansi Flick and the assistant. They're not going to be there because they were suspended, because the UEFA were like, oh yeah, Flick, we're sorry that you can't be there because the way that you acted in the semifinals against Inter Milan and the way that you were trying to verbally abuse some of these people on the field and stuff like that, like, you're going to be suspended. You're going to be suspended for one game, and that one game is going to be the first match of the Champions League. And of course, right, Barcelona are going to be they're going to be facing Newcastle, and they placed Barcelona away from home. It's a setup, dude. Like, it's like they want Barcelona to lose these games. This whole thing is a setup. And but like, all in all, it's cool, right? Like, besides that, I guess the schedule is fine. Barcelona do have another game on January 21st, and that's going to be my birthday. So the last time there was a game on my birthday, Barcelona also played, and that was earlier this year on January 21st, and it was against Benfica, where Barcelona won 5-4. So it was a really good game and a really good day overall. And hopefully Barcelona can deliver the exact same experience on that night on January 21st. So it's going to be very, very exciting. Stepping away from that, now I want to speak about the last thing, which is going to be about what should be the lineup, right? The lineup for the match against Rayo Vallecano is going to be very different to how I saw the first two lineups in La Liga, right? So far we're doing good. We're doing okay. We're doing all right. I think that we could have done much better. We could have scored many more goals. That whole remontada that we did against Levante did not need to happen whatsoever. But at the end of the day, we have 6 total points, 6 goals scored, 2 goals conceded. So we beat Mallorca 3-0, we beat Levante 3-2, and now we're here against Rayo Vallecano, and I hope that we don't need to experience. I know that it's fun to see like remontadas and stuff like that, but like, we don't need to have that every game, bro. Like, I'm aging. 2 years for every year because of the Barcelona team that I support. You know what I'm saying? So I think all in all, we have to come in with good attitude, 100% focused, not make any mistakes at the back. We have to do well, right? We have to accumulate as many points as possible. And I believe that Joan Garcia should be in goal, with Jules Koundé back in the right back position, with Eric Garcia and Kobarsi as my center back pairing. Because for a match like Rayo Vallecano, I do think that they're going to be implementing a mid to low block, and we're going to need like really good ball playing center backs. Also, Rayo Vallecano really love to pressure, and when you have Eric Garcia and Kobarsi at the back, knowing how great they are with the ball, I believe that we're going to be minimizing our mistakes with Eric Garcia and Kobarsi together. And this is also a really good time for Araujo to like not be in the lineup and like get some rest and maybe use him for more important matches. So I would like to see Eric Garcia and Kobarsi as our center back pairing. And I know that we have not really seen this type of pairing consistently at Barcelona, but the thing is that like when I saw Eric Garcia and Kobarsi playing together for the Spanish national team in the Olympics a few months ago, they were doing amazing. They were one of the best players for the Spanish national team during that tournament in the Olympics. So, and we have Alejandro Balde on the left back position as always, with our double pivot as Pedri and Frankie as always. And then for our attack, Yamal on the right, Olmo as the 10, Rafinha on the left, and Ferran Torres on the striker position. Two things that I want to talk about, right? I know that right now will be a good time to use Fermín López to really showcase to the world that Fermín López is here to stay, and like it will be a wonderful story to tell that, you know, after this huge saga between Fermín López and Chelsea, Fermín López just comes out of nowhere, scores maybe like a brace against Rayo Vallecano. But I would like to see Fermín López come into the game and be substituted for Dani Olmo. It has to be that time, right? Fermín cannot come into this game against Rayo and not play. That would be a huge red flag, and especially I feel like Hansi Flick in a way would be pressured to use Fermín in this match, whether it's as a starter or as an impact sub. And I believe that he's going to end up being an impact sub and play maybe 35 to 40 minutes. So Olmo starting with Fermín López coming in, because that also gives you the best chance to really get the best out of Fermín López. And as for the striker position, I know that many are going to be questioning why hasn't Lewandowski been playing a lot of minutes, mainly because he's fatigued, and I feel like he needs to be rotated very early in the season. And I like what we're seeing with Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres is getting the job done. He has been scoring goals so far for all Barcelona La Liga matches, and if that's the case, it should be rewarded. Ferran Torres should be our starter for now and score as many goals as possible. I think that Ferran Torres is going to have one hell of a season this season. It's going to be amazing. So that is going to be my lineup, and that is going to be wrapping up today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.